On our planet, there seems to be an infinite number of beautiful places one can visit, with an equal number of spectacular things to admire. It requires nothing more than a curiosity to observe what is all around you. The miracle of nature manifests in countless ways, from breathtaking vistas to the simple movements of a common heifer. The purpose of this program is to present you with the extraordinary diversity of our miraculous blue planet so that you can discover these things for yourself. In search of more miracles of nature today, we shall venture into the Mexican seaside state of Veracruz in the southwest of the country. We will admire the unbelievable colors of locally grown orchids, find out how vanilla is grown, and discover how brown sugar is made. To top things off, we will witness one extraordinary ritual. Later, we will visit the Cayman Islands in the Caribbean. The 3 islands are relatively small with regard to surface area, but are inhabited by some remarkable animals such as sea turtles, friendly rays, and other types of fish, as well as the fascinating blue iguana. The flora of Veracruz is possibly the most diverse in the whole of Mexico. Veracruz became known the world over, particularly due to its orchids. The forest-covered landscape of the Sierra Madre Oriental foothills makes an ideal habitat for wild orchids. Here, they have over 400 kinds of orchids. These orchids are cultivated here, and this is one of the few job opportunities for the people of Veracruz. Orchids of all shapes, sizes, and colors can be found in giant greenhouses as well as on outdoor flower beds. The tropical kinds of these flowers need heat and high humidity. Many of the orchids are exported on a large scale to the rest of the world. Claudio, a young botanist, inherited a love for the job from his parents, who began cultivating orchids some 40 years ago. According to him, the ideal microclimate for orchids is 10 meters above the ground because this is where the trees create a natural shade. There are excellent conditions for orchids in Claudio's garden, and the flowers thrive here. An old local legend recounts the death of 2 lovers. Soon, a strange bush grew in the place where the lovers died. One morning, a stunning flower bloomed on the bush and saturated the area with a mesmerizing aroma. It was vanilla, an orchid, which produces beautiful flowers as well as fragrant pods. The people of the Totonac Indian tribe, which initially inhabited today's Veracruz, were known to add these pods to their favorite drink made from cocoa beans. Mexico was the exclusive producer of vanilla until the first half of the 20th century. People were unable to artificially pollinate vanilla, unlike a single kind of local bee and several kinds of hummingbirds. Today, vanilla is also grown artificially in glass containers. The flower must be first cut open to disturb the partition between the stamen with the pollens and the stigma. It is then pressed together, resulting in self-pollination. Once harvested in November, The vanilla pods are alternately dried in the sunshine and in the shade so as to preserve their typical aroma. The ancient Mexican civilizations knew the aromatherapeutic properties of vanilla and used it commonly in medicine. The fragrant capsules are still being made into all kinds of figures and shapes. Vanilla is most commonly used in the kitchen, though. It's usually added to salads, soups, and even drinks. One of the traditional local dishes is trout with vanilla sauce.
Quiero arroz, doña.
The majority of local inhabitants are Catholic, but the Catholic faith is often combined with traditional Mexican myths. For thousands of years, the northernmost part of Veracruz has been inhabited by the Huastec tribe. In the Huastec language, the name Chicontepec, which is the name of a local town, means 7 hillocks. The town lies at the foot of one of them. Traditional medicine is a lot more accessible as well as more trustworthy than Western medicine for many of the locals. Many natives are still more likely to seek the assistance of a shaman rather than an accredited doctor. A shaman always commences a detoxification by requesting God grant him permission to cure the patient, offering him sacrificial gifts in return. Only then may he initiate the healing process.
Primero Dios, con la cato, entonces me la sorte, entonces con la sorte, entonces tanto, entonces no tenemos mishka, ni pasote, ni trance, pero más que pasarle, pero más no puede, no te quistes.
A peculiar altar indicates the blending of elements of Christianity with local traditions. The patient shows gratitude by lighting a candle. The Huastec people also cling to other traditions passed on from their ancestors. Agricultural production is one of them. The marketplace on the square in Chicontepec offers a wide variety of crops that are grown on the surrounding fields. Sugarcane, also known as panela, is one of the commodities often sold at the market. It's one of the most important crops in Veracruz, ever since Christopher Columbus first brought it to America. A long process precedes its sale at the local market. The tall sugarcane stems are harvested by hand, and then they are tied into large bundles and brought to the mill. Although it may not seem so at first glance, the mill in Chicontepec is considered to be a modern one. In many parts of Veracruz, the mills are still driven by animals, either mules or donkeys. The process is pretty simple. The stems are crushed in such a way to release as much sweet juice as possible. Bagasa, the pressed leftovers, are not wasted. They are used to feed the fire beneath the cauldron with the acquired juice. First, the juice is cooked for several hours, and then the same time is allowed to let the liquid sugar set. The finished sweet cones are wrapped in sugarcane leaves and taken to the market. While the men work at the sugar refinery, the women are busy embroidering traditional folk costumes. The men often pass the time playing music on various instruments. The traditional local music is known as haranas. The town of Papantla, which stands for the place of thundery birds, is the site of a certain ancient ritual, the so-called Dance of the Birds, or Voladores. The strange statue above the town symbolizes tradition also. This unique ritual is taught to children from the age of 6. Cruz Ramirez currently explains the principles of the ritual to the children. According to him, the trick is not in acrobatic abilities, but in spiritual balance. A lengthy training is required. The pupils are taught to tie themselves firmly and then get used to hanging head down. To start with, they are not very high. When they are no longer afraid, something that is verified by checking the pulse, they are allowed to climb up. Many different cultures carried out similar rituals all over Central America, but it survived unchanged only in Papantla. The natives of Papantla, the Totonac Indians, perform this ritual flight only once every year before the sowing season. Today, it is performed all year round. Every ritual begins and ends in a shrine by the altar of the goddess of the earth. Voladores first asks for her protection and then expresses thanks. Today, Voladores is performed on higher masts than in the past to further impress the spectators. The original mast was 18 meters high, and each participant managed to circle it 13 times in one jump. The total tallied up to 52 rounds. The numbers most probably corresponded to the Maya calendar, where the number 13 played a significant role and where the sacred cycle comprised 52 years. The role of the musician is very important. He plays for the sun the entire time. He climbs up last, and once there, he turns in all the cardinal directions and addresses the sun, the earth, the moon, and the rain, asking for favorable conditions. The climax of the ritual is the flight itself. The men, tied by a rope around their waist, with arms spread for wings, descend to the ground and plead that abundant warmth and water finds its way to their fields. Let us bid these men who imitate the flight of birds and the entire state of Veracruz farewell. In the Caribbean Sea, northwest of Jamaica, lie a trio of islands known the world over as a tax haven. Welcome to the Cayman Islands. Its nature is equally noteworthy, especially due to several kinds of fascinating animals. Las Tortugas, Turtle Islands. This was the original name of the Cayman Islands. The coastline is inhabited by immense schools of sea turtles. Today, there are a lot less turtles here. They are being hunted despite the prohibition, but mostly their natural habitat is being destroyed. The turtles reproduce by laying eggs on the beaches, where one hotel next to the other springs up. As a result, there is often no room left for the turtles, which take decades to reach reproductive age. Fortunately, turtle farms like this one are being set up. These people are determined to protect the turtles so they may not become extinct in the 21st century. The different tanks swarm with turtles of all sizes, ranging from giant ones weighing up to 600 kilos to the tiniest babies. The local keeper says that turtles do not swim, but fly in the water. The movement of their fins indeed resembles the movement of birds' wings. These turtles manage to move pretty fast. The Cayman Islands are a sunny paradise throughout most of the year, but come fall, the hurricane season sets in. Most hurricanes just miss the Cayman Islands, but the side effects of them passing so close are strong winds and heavy rainfall. Just a short distance from the shore, we encounter another unusual creature. These strictly protected rays appear a little like a rubber rhombus. The ones seen here have become fond of humans. For a treat, they are willing to be petted or even attach themselves to humans just like a nozzle of a vacuum cleaner. They feed on plankton and so are harmless and have no teeth. It is said that swimming with rays is therapeutic. The rays actually appear tender and cuddly. The story that they are capable of embracing a human with their wings and killing them is only make-believe. They do have a thorn equipped with mild poison in their tails, but they only use that in extreme situations for self-defense. The rays and many other marine animals make the Cayman Islands a diving paradise. Fall is not the best time, though, due to the waves churning up sand that reduce visibility. Despite the unfavorable weather conditions, there are plenty of fish with all shapes and colors. These underwater gardens are surprisingly fragile. The gradual warming of the seas, the increasingly more violent storms, and the pollution brought in by currents from North America are having devastating effects. The fish population is also being depleted by the stunning yet poisonous lionfish, which has no natural enemy in local waters. It most likely got here during a hurricane or someone's aquarium. Only about 15 people live on the tiny island of Brac. There is no industry whatsoever, and therefore no pollution. As a result, nature has maintained its unique character. Brack means cliff in Old Gaelic. Cliffs line the entire island, rising 43 meters high. These cliffs were made famous on the silver screen by Steve McQueen when he threw himself off this cliff into the raging ocean in one of the scenes from the movie Papillon. The limestone massif protects beautiful saltwater lakes. The ever-present mangroves are capable of processing seawater. These mangroves are crucial for the island because the roots hold the island together and protect it from the assault of frequent storms. As a result, an incredibly diverse ecosystem survives here, making it probably the island's greatest treasure. Rebecca's Cave is a national monument. In 1932, there was a particularly terrible storm, forcing one family to seek refuge here in this cave. Their little daughter, Rebecca, was hurt during the storm and sadly died in the cave. The legend has it that her soul begged for mercy up in heaven, and so the rest of the family was spared. It is not the only cave on the island. Brack is literally drilled through and through, making it a perfect habitat for all kinds of insects and rare bats. A reservation where large birds live, the red-footed boobies, takes up most of this island. Their biggest colony in the southern hemisphere is right here, a colony that is unique even on a global scale. Alongside the boobies, the endangered frigates, as well as many kinds of rare herons, also nest here. Why the islands are called the Cayman Islands remains a bit of a mystery. There are no crocodiles here. An error made by Sir Francis Drake is probably the reason. He considered these strange lizards to be a type of crocodile. The lizard in question is the endangered blue iguana, only found on the Cayman Islands. Prior to colonization, the iguana was plentiful, but a few years ago, only 15 were left. Early in the morning, when it's cool and overcast, the iguanas are very dark, but they change color with increasing warmth. When they're warm or excited, they're a very beautiful blue color, especially the males when reproducing. We wish the iguanas and all the endangered species a long and peaceful existence on the Cayman Islands. Our journey to the miraculous nooks of our planet comes to an end for now. On the next exploration of our compelling and bountiful planet Earth, we shall uncover the mystery of the wealthy Austrian region of Salzburg, the pristine natural beauty of Portugal that is yet unaffected by mass tourism, and wrap it all up on the extraordinary island of Corsica, where on a small surface area we shall discover both a wild coast and snow-capped mountain peaks. That's all right here on Miracles of Nature. We hope you'll join us.